The night my father told me I was not welcome at his hotel, he had no idea that I was already the owner. I stood in the lobby with one suitcase in my hand, reading his message while my entire family celebrated upstairs. I smiled, put my phone away, and decided that before the night was over, they would finally learn who they had been insulting. My name is Avery Brooks. When I was 19, my father, Grant, tried to force me into marrying a wealthy businessman because it would solve one of his financial problems. I refused. My mother supported him. My sister Brooke stayed silent. And that same night, my parents threw me out of the house with nothing but a suitcase. They told me I would never survive without the Harrington family name. They were wrong. I worked during the day, studied finance at night, and slowly built my own investment company. I made mistakes, lost money, started again, and eventually became successful enough to buy struggling businesses and turn them around. Years later, my company purchased a luxury hotel in Charleston. The hotel happened to be the same place where my family was celebrating my parents' anniversary. They had no idea I owned it. I entered the lobby wearing a simple coat, hoping to see how they would treat me if they believed I was still the same woman they had abandoned. My mother saw me first and immediately insulted my clothes. She told me to leave before I embarrassed the family. My sister began recording me on her phone while my brother-in-law, Derek, dropped several $100 bills at my feet and told me to find a cheap motel. I stepped over the money. Then the general manager approached. He looked at me and said, "Ms. Brooks, should I activate the ownership protocol?" The entire lobby went silent. My family stared at me in disbelief. I simply told him to upgrade my room to the presidential suite and cancel the Harrington family's VIP privileges at midnight. That night, their keycards stopped working. Their free rooms, private dining, transportation, and other privileges were gone. My father demanded answers, but nobody would tell him who had authorized the changes. Then I discovered something much bigger. My father was using the hotel to host an investment gala. He planned to convince wealthy investors to put money into a business using false financial information and assets that did not actually exist. I could have stopped the event immediately, but I wanted the truth exposed in front of everyone. The next evening, the ballroom was packed. My father stood on stage talking proudly about the Harrington legacy while investors listened. Then he started mocking me publicly, telling everyone that I had always been the family failure. I let him finish. Then I stood up. The screen behind him suddenly changed. Instead of his presentation, the investors saw his unpaid debts, suspicious transactions, false financial records, and evidence of the investment scheme. My father started screaming that everything was fake. Then I played a recording of Derek discussing how he planned to take the investors' money and disappear. The room erupted. Derek tried to escape, but security stopped him. Moments later, police entered the ballroom. My father was arrested for financial fraud. My mother was taken away for her involvement, and Derek was arrested for his part in the scheme. My sister stood frozen, finally realizing that the people she trusted had been lying to her. My mother begged me to stop the police. She reminded me that we were family. I looked at her and remembered myself at 19, standing outside that house with one suitcase. I told her that family does not throw their own child away and then demand loyalty years later. Months later, my parents lost their home. I bought the property, but I did not keep it. Instead, I tore the old house down. In its place, I built Aurora Haven, a safe center for young women who had been abandoned, rejected, or forced to leave home with nowhere to go. On opening day, a frightened young girl arrived carrying a small bag. She asked me if she would be thrown out if she made mistakes. I told her no. She asked if she had to earn the right to be treated with kindness. I told her that she deserved kindness simply because she was human. My sister eventually started working at the center. For the first time, she saw how hard ordinary people worked and began understanding the damage our family had caused. That evening, I walked through the garden alone and thought about everything that had happened. For years, I believed revenge meant making my family regret what they had done to me, but I finally understood that revenge was never the real victory. The real victory was freedom. They had thrown away a 19-year-old girl with one suitcase, believing she would never become anything without them. Instead, that girl built a company, bought their hotel, exposed their lies, and created a place where other people could find the help she once needed. I did not destroy their world. I simply built a better one without them. And that was the moment I realized something I would never forget. Sometimes the people who reject you are not ending your story. They are accidentally giving you the freedom to write a better one.